Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and fight fans around the world. It's your boy P. Welsh here with another UFC picks, previews, and predictions show. We had a 5 and 6 week last week. A couple tough reads, couple tough fights, a lot of back and forth action. Hoping to have a big bounce back week. I'm feeling really good about the slate as we're breaking it down there. We have UFC Whittaker versus Aliskerov replacing Hamzat Chimaev due to illness in the main event. What a badass fight that's going to be. As we're breaking down the card, we should see a lot of exciting fights here. I'm going to get us started here with Zhao Long versus Chan Go Lee. The bantamweight division, 2-1 versus 2-2. I believe these guys are going off in the Contender Series, I believe. 5'8" for both gentlemen here, and this is kind of a stylistic matchup if you look at it. We got a little bit of Zhao plays the long game. He's fighting there. He's not afraid to get in and out, mix it up. He gets a lot of decisions. He gets a lot of fight time. Lee is a power puncher, KO potential finisher. He doesn't really want to stay. He's trying to do damage in there. I'm really liking Lee to start off, leaning there. I think we want to see some excitement. The people of Saudi Arabia want to see some excitement. Long, I think he's in there to fight and bash and stand there. He's not afraid. He's not going to back out. He's going to, try and win the fight. I don't think his grappling will be too much for Lee, and I think if Lee can get in there and just do the damage, even if he grapples, we could see a knee, an elbow, something. I'm kind of thinking something spectacular from Lee to start us off there. We have 9-1 versus 20. I don't know if the stats were up in there. So overall record 26-8 versus 9-1. Was their overall amateur records, and I really like Chin Ho Lee here. I think it's a pick him early on. I like the potential for the finishing, especially early on in the card. You don't want to be picking some guy that wants to go to the decision, right? Especially if he's going up against somebody that's actually substantial, powerful, and has all types of finishing abilities, right? He can do the damage and then get you to the ground and just end you quick. So I think Lee, second round maybe we'll sprinkle like a second round finish on the guy. Zhao there. I'm trying to see if he does. He's really balanced fighter. Only TKO losses, never subs. So maybe a second round Lee TKO. I'm kind of vibing with there. Could see some of the predictions coming, but Lee, even if he has to go to the scorecard, I think he gets it with volume. I think he gets it with damage. I think he gets it with defense and control time and just winning the fight. I really think I expect a nice fight from Lee here as I was breaking down. And I'm not saying anything. I think it's just more of Zhao is just kind of like he's a fighter's fighter, right? He ain't going to try and get the finish. He ain't going to try and get knocked out. He's just going to in there to scrap and brawl. So Lee, first bantamweight fight of the night. New contender alert in the building. Bang! Second fight here. All right, this one is off, but never bet Tulaloon. That's what I would say. I don't think that fight's happening. This guy just canceled again, I believe. So anybody against Tulaloon, though. We'll go to the light heavyweight division. Let's go. Magomed Gadzarilov versus Bredson Ribeiro. We have 8-0 for Magomed, and Ribeiro 15-6 coming off a first round knockout loss to Zhang, I believe, Big Zhang. And I tell you what, I liked Ribeiro has a chance to do damage against anybody, right? It's the fact of, are you going to get caught? He's going off as a big dog. He didn't look sharp, and I think this is going to be Magomed Gadzarilov. I think it's going to be him. The fight will probably take less time than it took me to learn how to pronounce his name. I just think Ribeiro doesn't move well, and if you can do damage, but in the light heavyweight division, you got to be able to knock him out. He's one of those guys I can see going down maybe to middleweight later in, a little bit in there if he's struggling with some of these bigger guys and just like the speed's just not there. Or the power that these guys deliver, like these guys are fast, quick, powerful. So I'm going with Magomed. Ribeiro could do the damage, but I just see a class act from the first Eurasian of the day in the light heavyweight division. Not too big on the Brazilians over there in Saudi. It tends not to go their way too many times. Leaning towards that, big favorite as well. Give me Gadzarilov over Ribeiro, probably. Hopefully, let's see a lot of knockouts. Like we've been a little bit parched of some knockouts on these last few fight nights, so let's get some big ones early. Big ones off in here. Bang! Bantamweight division. Young Ho Kang, 19-10 versus Muin Gufarov, 19-10 versus 18-5. Both boys coming off a loss. 2-inch reach advantage, 5-inch. 2-inch height advantage for Kang. 5-inch reach advantage. And I tell you what here, I think the books got this one wrong. They got Kang at a plus 150. And I'm just looking, at the resume, everything that is probably could happen, and just the experience factor. The amount of experience in the octagon for Kang is really why I'm going to go with the win here. Very similar resumes, a lot of potential to... My thing is, Gafarov has to finish Kang, and I think Kang's too good to get finished by Gafarov. I don't think he's that good to finish him. He hasn't really shown it too much against high caliber fighters. And he just the amount of fights that Kang has fought in the UFC. Gufarov 0-2 record, 3-3 in one championship. Got choked out last year by Syed, and both lost to John Castaneda. Canceled against Lapulus. Probably would have lost to him too. So Kang, he's like, I need somebody. Kang's in there. He's like, I'm ready to step up. I'm feeling big time on Kang here. He's high confidence pick. I think going in there, I just think he has more to offer. He's a more well-rounded fighter, and just think the experience means a lot, dude. To win in the octagon many, many, many times and have that expectation to win, not the pressure to win. So that being said, as long as he doesn't feel that pressure, but he's an underdog coming in there, at plus 130. So bantamweight division, Kang with the bang against Gufarov. And then we'll move on to the next fight here. Bang, dude. So many great, amazing, badass matchups that they gave us. Renak Faktorinov versus Nicholas Dalby, 21-1-1 versus 23-4-1. Both guys with a draw. A slight advantage in the height for Renak. I'm just calling him that because I'm not trying to pronounce his last name. Versus Dalby, another big underdog with hella potential. The Viking blood running through Dalby. Has a great chance, a great chin. He's got such a scrap ability in there. The thing that worries me a lot about Dalby is 39 years old, going into hostile territory against an absolute gladiator. That's his nickname. And I mean, is there much that this guy can't do? He drew Ezekiel Zalikas, and I honestly thought he won that fight. I can't remember if there's a specific of that fight of why it went that way, but he just beat Doug. That was his last fight. He's been grappling on the side, so I think he's been waiting to come back for somebody that's a pretty worthy opponent like Dalby and get a pretty spectacular finish. I think I can see a third-round finish, maybe. Third-round submission on Dalby just because he might take so much damage. I could definitely see this one going to the scorecard as well, just in the fact that Dalby's an absolute dog, and I don't even like betting against him like this. But this is one of those things where it's like he's not essentially... They're both kind of contenders, right? But I think when they're both contenders, the guy that's younger and more talented tends to get, Dalby's not a gatekeeper. Dalby's just a dog, man. He just has it in him. He's willing to come back and fight anybody. He's just has that no quit in him. But I just think he doesn't get finished either. You know what I mean? He's been winning a lot too, fighting a lot of fights against a lot of tough guys. And he's got a great chance to win here. And this one's probably going to the card now. I'm going Renak, and he's going to get it on decision, probably split decision. Dalby's going to look way better than the odds say he does, right? Going off at like plus 280 or something like that, 250 to 280. Dalby's going to look way better. In the mid-second, you're going to be like, yo, did he win the first round? Is he winning the second round? And I think the judges will just end up... Renak will do enough to win the fight, right? And that's where I think it will come into play. It's probably going to this, Dalby just don't get finished, man. And if he does, it's going to have to be something spectacular, which I can't wait to watch. But in the welterweight division, I got Renak all day over Dalby. But, man, this one should be an absolute firecracker. I'm sweating this. We'll all be sweating this one out, I feel like. But this guy comes through in the end, Renek, bang, into the lightweight bout that I might be most excited for. We got Harpquist versus Jared Gordon, 16-5 versus 20-6. Very similar on the metrics there. Reach advantage for Harpquist against Gordon, excuse me, Jared Flash Gordon. And man, oh man, what do we say about this fight? It can go back and forth. The thing is, what's the opportunity that Jared Gordon gets taken down? Not very much, right? And that's his biggest weakness, is getting grappled. If this guy's gonna stand and bang in there, I feel like Gordon could be ascending where he sneaks out a TKO as a big underdog this week in Abu Dhabi. What has Harpquist Nasrat went against? Malarkey is malarkey. Landon Quinones' decision losses to Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, Drew Dober. So when he's fought high caliber guys, he's gotten down. I think we're underestimating Jared Gordon here. I don't know about anybody else. I like him as a big dog, right? We're gonna put a little something together with some of these underdogs that I think could, that were the very close to pick'ems too. But I really like Jared Gordon here. Um, I just like the power, unless the judges steal it from him at the end, which is always a possibility. Like if this, like if you ever want the bet might be, I don't even know, over rounds, not to go the distance, because I think there could be a late finish from Gordon. He has that on the resume. He's got powerful hands. Like, I mean, like he's gonna know how to be smart in there. He does take some L's, but he has lost to just pretty great fighters: Diego Ferreira, Charles Oliveira, Joaquim Silva, Grant Dawson, Patty Pemblin. These guys are all studs, and I think that experience with what he's, I think he can produce. I like his chances here. I'm gonna go pick Jared Gordon. I want to see him put the L on. I want to see Harpquist put this L. I think that a lot of favors are heavy favorites because of the region and the fighters in the region. And when I'm kind of looking at this one specifically, he's got chances to be outcompeted, right? He loses to competition as well, right? And I think Gordon is top competition, right? Is this guy got the wins, and does this guy have the cage time to compete with Jared Gordon, who's not gonna be afraid? Got that magic 35 number, right? Madsen TKO, Green, I think it was a no contest. Patty decision, very close fight. Win. Lost to Dawson. Dawson's a dog. Joe Selecki. Wish he knocked him out. What's happening here? I like Jared Gordon. I think he might do enough to get the job done. I think these guys are going to respect the damage that he does on his feet, the defense he presents as a wrestler, and I think he's a live dog here. Not every guy's as live as a dog as Jared Gordon is in this fight. And I really like him to do some work here, and I'm picking him to get the win. I don't know if he'll go for the knockout. That might be his best avenue to win, because I don't know if the judge's scorecard is going to be as favorable to him unless he purely dominates, right? But if that's the case and he knows that, I still want to see a finish from Gordon. Maybe third round, maybe cheeky submission, just if this guy gets down bad, but like, I don't know if we see that much domination from Gordon. So that's the only reason the club and sub might not ever come through like that. So, we can also scratch that from the record. Sometimes as I talk, you got to get the bad ideas out. That's what part of these videos are about. Go through the information, see what's good and bad. I record this way earlier. I want to give it enough time for people to watch, but the closer you get to the fight time, the better opportunities. I love to watch the weigh-in show. I recommend everybody do. I feel like you learn a lot in those 2 hours. You get real insight from the commentators. They're just bantering. They're talking about the fighters, their experiences, and their history. So that's something to watch in, as well as you watch these cards and break them down and just enjoy them. Take a look at the weigh-in show on Friday. You won't regret it. Bang! Into the feature prelim of the middleweight division. We got Shara Bullet Magmodev versus Julton Lutterbuch. 12-0 versus 38-10. And man, I kind of like Joliton here. Again, a live dog that you really don't want to go with. But my thing is, he can wrestle. he might not have the big time experience as a lot of other fighters, and that's what's scaring me the most with outright picking him. But I mean, he does have a bout with Dricus Du Plessis on his resume, right? Like he has stepped into competitive fixtures with people, stood toe to toe with them. Now, are they all that high of level? I don't know. But is he going to be afraid? Absolutely not. The one thing about the Bullet is he was terrible at wrestling. Now, that was last year, so we can, hope that he progresses in like a full year off of a fight, right? Because he's got one eye and nobody will sanction him but Saudi and Abu Dhabi, right? He did a 10-23, so it was what's that? 8 months ago he fought unanimous decision to Bruno Silva. Is that's what's gonna happen again? Just something similar like that. Maybe he gets a finish on him. Look, I want to pick Jolton a lot. I really do, but I'm not going on this one. No way. I'm picking Mamba Shara Bullet, one eye bullet to hit a snipe in the face, knock this guy out, and show us like that last year was just not was just a fluke. Yeah, I think we'll see a lot bigger performance and a lot better showing from Magmadev. But if he can't see and that guy's shooting in on him, maybe that is a big advantage. But that being said, Joliton he does not have the caliber of just like just the amount of high level to go against somebody that might be the most skilled fighter he ever fought, right? Like this guy might be so talented on his feet that he might just catch him with his hands right away, and that's what I'll be picking against. That's what I'm going with here for Magmadev. Is just like I think at this point, like yeah, we can question his wrestling. Oh, this guy has an opportunity to stand and bang with him. Yeah, and he also has a chance to freaking hit this guy with a freaking up kick to the face or a high kick to the head, and we're just like, oh yeah, that's why he's fighting. So give the cat time to develop. Let's see what he is after a performance, maybe of the night. And I'm thinking of a lot better from Magmadev. I'm giving him the pick. Hey, if he's gonna lose and put the L on the record in the top, then we live with that, right? But I can't let Jolton put that L on my record. He's got too many L's in his name at that point. So picking Magmadev, and we're going on to the main card. And wow, oh wow, we got some nice fights going. Leading us off here, we got Johnny Walker 21-8 versus Volkan Ozdemir 19-7. Johnny coming off a loss, Volkan coming off a win, and boy oh boy is this a matchup that is juicy. Probably won't last that long. Lost to Ankalaev, Johnny, massive uppercut, broken nose, huge damage. And you know what? Here, I don't know how you can pick Johnny against somebody that has reached the title aspiration level, right? He fought in a title fight. I think that's where we draw the level and where Johnny Walker can win and lose. Is I know it's a long time ago against DC, but boy God, is DC one of the best champs to ever exist. And my guy Volkan Ozdemir went toe to toe with him. You know what I mean? You think like some prospects have a chance. This guy is clean with it. He's going to be switching stances. Who he loses lost decision loss, get knocked out by Prohaska. Like, dude, like, look at everybody this guy fights, Reyes, Smith, Cormier. Like, he went through a bad stretch there, but I think he's on the other end of it. I know he's a little bit older in age. Johnny's got hella reach and height advantage, but at the end of the day, I just don't think Johnny is going to be able to have recovered that much. I think he's going to take some L's, and I like Volkan Ozdemir here. I saw the way that he beat up the last prospect just makes me think that there's not a lot done with him left. I am a little scared looking at his decision run there over the course of a couple years. Krylov, Craig on Kalaev. But you know what? Confidence grows. He's a veteran. He's gonna remember all the times that he's coming in there, and I think this is a do or die moment for Johnny. I don't want to do or die with Johnny Walker. I like Volkan Ozdemir here. I can see him going to decision, fighting Johnny a very strong fight. If Johnny can't get that kill shot, I mean, what does he have to offer, right? If guys can control the octagon with their striking, their leg kicks, and everything, like if somebody like Ankalaev can knock Johnny Walker out on the feet, I see no reason why Volkan Ozdemir. Not only that, I think it can go to the judges' scorecard, and from there, be just as in favor for him as well. 7 versus 9 in the light heavyweight division, and boy, oh boy, we should have one that doesn't go too far. But I like Volkan Ozdemir. I think he's got just more of a chance to do damage cleanly, be more clean with his. But I will say this: if the speed is there for Johnny, the speed advantage is there, it could be a long night for Volkan and a quick one. So that is the one thing I'll say. I always wanted to check out Uzdemir's age. It's 31 versus 34, so he's not as long in the tooth. He's actually probably entering his prime here. Lock it in with Uzdemir. I mean, it's not the lock of the night, but I'm locking him in against the picks. I'm not picking Johnny. I'm not picking Johnny. Like, you guys can pick Johnny. But for me, I just have to pick Volkan, man. I just that name, not going to trust Johnny. Kind of a quick turnaround, too. When did he get knocked out? I worry about these guys. I want at least 6 months between your last knockout and time plan. It's about 5. I want 6 months plus a training camp. You know what I mean? So, but I like Volkan to do some damage. I can see Johnny like looking good early, then getting rocked, and then Volkan win the rest of the fight. Volkan by decision would be the official maybe pick, just because, like I said, I can see him winning the second, winning the third. Even if Johnny wins the first, he gasses out. Volkan, baby, let's go! Come on, big wins. Big wins. Naimov versus, he's not fighting. He's fighting some guy named Lima. This guy's not fighting him. Fighting Naimov versus Lima here. Let's bring him up here. Dude, what do I got to say about this one? It's Lima's first fight in the promotion here. I got Naimov. Let's just keep it. He's a near favorite. It's pretty even matchup. He's on an absolute tear. I could see this one going either way. I thought it was easy Naimov over Lima the start. The betting has it pretty even, just because I guess it's a pretty rescheduled bout a few times. What do we say? 26 versus 29, 3-inch advantage for Naimov, which I think is the big factor there. They don't even got this guy Lima's reach on anything right now. So that being said, I mean, if it's an official pick, I'm gonna go Naimov. If Lima wins, we'll put the L on the scorecard as well, because I'm kind of that confident in Naimov to win. You know, who has this guy fought, man? Decision on all these things that are not the UFC. Like, it's not really what you want to see. So I'm thinking Naimov, this coming in there, guy coming into the promotion. There's a reason why, you know, he's playing not to lose, and I think he takes a nice L here. When your guy takes an L like Naimov, like, I think these guys that are undefeated sometimes try and play a little bit too conservative, even though he has 1 loss on his record. You know, he's on a big win streak. You know, how many fights in the UFC for Naimov, you know? And then we'll just end it there. 3-0, make it 4-0. Bang, Naimov. Moving on there. Talk about the bum bowl that if I've ever seen one. Kevin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. And I don't know what we say about this one, ladies and gentlemen. D-Rod, 2-inch height advantage. Gastelum got the dog in him. Everybody says D-Rod sucks. I want to pick D-Rod here. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some fight in him, right? Gastelum. You really going to want to pick Gastelum? Got destroyed by Sean Brady. Beat Chris Curtis. Like, he went down the welterweight. I know D-Rod's bad. Like, so can we really look at Gastelum back at middleweight? D-Rod, I think he got PEDs. Is that why he's fighting over here? Because he was supposed to fight Ponzinibbio, but then he got PEDs. Now he's in freaking sanctioned in Abu Dhabi. I don't know what to think about this fight. I hate having to pick it too. But you know I'm never going to pass one up here. God, I'm not picking Gastelum, dude. He looks like he's got a beer fucking belly. Give me D-Rod. I don't know. Keep it short and sweet. What do you want me to say? D-Rod lost to Magny, lost to Gary, beat Lee, beat the Leech, beat Kevin Lee, beat Mike Perry. D-Rod by decision. Split decision. Disgusting decision. Don't even look at him. Don't even look at this one. I don't know. He's got the metrics. Just put the metrics hat on, and that's what wins this fight. Give me the dog and the metrics, D-Rod. I don't really know what to say. I'm not trusting Gaslam ever again, dude. Ever again. That last fight was it for Gaslam. You guys go trust him. Brady's a beast, though. But Brady got knocked out by Bilal. Like, what are we talking about here? D-Rod by disgusting decision. Triple D's. Darn. Moving on. Okay, the co-main event. Another one that I'm not feeling the best about, but we got Sergey Pavlovich, 18-2, versus Alexander Volkov, 37-10. Pavlovich coming off the interim bout, lost to Tom Aspinall. Alexander Volkov has been around the block, win over Tai Tuivasa, Romanov, and Rosenstrike. A loss to Aspinall, beat Burra, lost to Gon, Blades, and I think that's where we get on here. It comes to the fact that I think Volkov loses to guys that are really good, and Pavlovich is that good. These guys are training buddies. They didn't really want to fight in the first place, so it has me feeling a little some type of way about these guys going against one another, and that makes me want to lean towards Pavlovich, just because, like, I'm not going to say Volkov's going to throw and roll over, but, I mean, if he clearly understands that, like, he can't compete with this guy, he might just try not to just get dominated too fast and come back. I don't know. I feel dirty saying that. Volkov 4-inch reach advantage, but Pavlovich arms. Can you imagine that? I mean, advantage goes to the height, but I mean, I just love Pavlovich there. He connected against Aspinall. He just didn't knock him down, and Aspinall was so fast in the response, it put him out. I'm not going to underestimate what Pavlovich has done in the octagon in the little bit of time he's actually been in there. And I think it can be another pretty quick one. First round TKO for Pavlovich here. Don't think it goes very far. I could see them exchanging maybe 3 minutes, maybe towards the end of the first round to go down. But, I mean, I love Pavlovich. I think the damage goes down. The ref just, if he gets hit once, he just goes down. The ref stops it. I can see that going, honestly, both ways, but leaning Pavlovich there. Co-main event. It's not even 5 rounds, so, like, you know this one's not even going to go that far. Pavlovich all day. Can't wait to do the recap. Feeling very excited about the picks as we get into the main event of the evening. And now it's time! 5 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Fighting in the blue corner, we have Robert Whittaker, standing 26-7 with 26 wins, 7 losses. 10 wins by knockout here, coming off a win off of Paulo Costa, rescheduled against Khamzat Chimaev versus Ikram Aliskerov. And man, why is this website just giving me a problem? 15-1, only loss coming to Chimaev, replacing him. Oh man, same on the height, a little bit of a reach advantage for Aliskerov, and boy, Whittaker, big picking favorite. This seems like a very contender versus pretender situation. And I've kind of flip-flopped back and forth. I started on Whittaker because I'm like, man, that guy is so clean. That last fight, he looks so good. And if he's, could be one of those things where this is a challenging contender and I can see him rising to the occasion, right? Poirier style recently. He was ready to go to war against somebody like Chimaev, who I had him beating Chimaev before sickness and illness, whatever happened. The Aliskerov on short notice is tough, man. It's just the guy. It's what's gonna happen? Aliskerov can go toe to toe with anybody. He's a big frame, big long arms, strong guy. The only thing I'm worried about is he was preparing for a freaking cupcake, right? His cancel fight against all the guys at Fluffy, Munoz, Tricoli, like he's beat nobodies, right? So that's my thing. Whittaker is going to be by far the best opponent that this guy has ever faced. And how do you pick against Whittaker? He's not that big of a heavy gambling favorite. But man, I want to pick Aliskerov, but I don't want to pick against Whittaker. I think for the official pick, I'll go Whittaker just because, like, again, I want to see Bobby go 5 rounds with this guy. Like, Aliskerov, he's going to have to go into deep water. But that being said, all it takes is a little bit of damage and Bobby not being the same and he gets ran through. Like, Dricus Duplessis. That's my biggest worry about picking Whittaker here is he's just, the frame on him is just not as large, you know? But man, who the fuck does he lose to? The champs. You know, he loses to Wonder Boy clean strikers. Like, I don't know. See, that's what scares me. Looking, you know, he's not undefeated. At some point, these guys take some losses too later in the career. How are you gonna go pick against Whittaker though? Like, he looks like he's in prime position to just make another title run. Is it gonna be log jammed at the top of the middleweight division, or is Aliskerov gonna come in there and make some waves, make the pecking order pretty clean? I mean, ooh, boy, oh boy, what do you want me to say? A lot of the fights end in these finishes for Askarov are off the chain. But who are they against? But it doesn't mean he can't get it against Whittaker. I almost might even do. I've never done a reversal in the main event. This might be the first time I'm contemplating a reversal. But at the end of the day, what is this? We're picking the winners, right? Are we picking who we think is gonna, like, who we want to win, or who do we think is gonna win? Who has the opportunity of the win, and who can take a loss? Right? One of these guys are gonna have to lose. Who has a better chance of losing? Right? Does Robert have a better chance of getting knocked out, right, in like the second round with a big combo and Askarov just running through? Or does Robert have a better chance of standing 5 rounds with the guy? Maybe it's the third round. Maybe it's the fourth round. Could even be the fifth round, dude. It gives Askarov a lot of opportunities to hit that KO shot, right? If Bobby doesn't, if Bobby Knuckles doesn't finish him, 25 minutes against somebody as deadly as that, it could be the difference. While it's an advantage for Whittaker and this guy Askarov has never gone that far, maybe he doesn't even need to go that far. Opportunities arrive on short notice, and it could be a game changer. And maybe that's the game changer that's actually going to happen here. Because like I said here, I was on Whittaker initially. And as I'm talking through the rest of this recording, I'm leaning towards Aliskerov. Make the official pick. Man. It's like, do I pick what I want to happen, or do I pick against what I want to happen, right? So like, I want Bobby to win, and I think he will win, and I think he'll be clean with it. But I think if I pick that, Aliskerov will come out and knock him out. If I pick Aliskerov to win, then I think Bobby comes in there against somebody. You know, I'm going Aliskerov. I'm not gonna forget the kick from Costa and the timing of it. I'm gonna go Aliskerov, and if that timing of Costa's kick comes differently, it might be a different story. I'm going to go Aliskerov with good timing to beat Bobby Whittaker by knockout, the main event of Abu Dhabi. To heartbreak fans, and myself included, the official, we're going reversal in the main event. Aliskerov for the win, man. I didn't see that one coming, but I did feel it. Bobby Whittaker, let's see a class performance. Show us why that gold belongs, why you deserve to compete for that gold. Please, please, please do that, Bobby Whittaker. But I'm picking Ikram Askarov on short notice with a knockout of epic proportions, something that we just won't want to see, but is going to happen because I don't know. That's why we watch the fights, but you know, we're going to get to there, and I don't even care what it is on my record. I'm kind of like hedging my happiness on picking it. So if I am unhappy with Whittaker going down, I'm going to give myself the dub in the main event, kind of like Islam and some other stuff. So let's do a quick recap here, ladies and gents. We got Lee in the first fight, knockout contest. Gadsolivov. We're going to go Ho Kang, Rinat. We got Jared Flash Gordon and Shara Bullet, Volkan Ozdemir, Naimov over Luis, D-Rod, Pavlovich, and in an upset, Ikram Askarov on short notice. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy it. Predict a full card 100%, and I'll give you $100 if you're subbed and comment it down below. $100 giveaway. Thank you guys so much for watching. What an absolute badass card we have in front of us, and thank you so much. Peace and love, everybody, and I'll see you next week.